Once upon a time, not long ago, in Central Texas, a land where everything seemed safe and predictable, there lived a very hard-working man named Henry. Henry had a very happy family. It was the best of times indeed. Everyone was buying new cars and eating at fancy restaurants. All his friends were getting promotions and going skiing. Henry did so well, in fact, that he invested here and there in shopping centers that his friends were shopping at, buying office buildings, buying restaurant buildings that his friends ate in. It was an exciting time. He invested in both Austin and San Antonio because both were booming with strong economic fundamentals. Then one day, suddenly everything changed. The economy began to crumble, and the happy times began to, well, not be so happy. The townspeople stopped eating at the fancy restaurants. Some lost their Escalades, and still others stopped going skiing. His retail centers struggled, and his tenants needed financial help. Some couldn't pay. Still others simply closed their doors. Henry had non-performing bank loans. His lender placed all his loans on 15-year amortizations. So one morning, bright and early, off Henry went down to see his wise old banker, who told Henry he needed help because, after all, he couldn't help him. The big bad OCC was giving them a bank exam in the next few weeks, and they had to prepare so they could pass. Find someone competent that can manage your shopping centers effectively and handle workouts with the struggling tenants, he said. Find someone that can lease the remaining space. Find someone you can trust, he cried. Henry searched and searched far and wide for someone to help him. Henry figured the most knowledgeable had to be the largest of them all. Is it bigger, better, he pondered? It had to be a company that was recognized by everyone, everywhere throughout the land. So Henry met with the biggest and most revered of them all. The firm was a ginormous international company, skilled at developing corporate relationships at a high level back in New York City. Henry shared his story of despair and concern with them, and they comforted him. They told Henry not to worry. We help people like you all the time, they said. Trust us. After all, we are the largest of them all. And Henry did trust them. And he indeed went home comforted, confident that his troubles would soon be over. Days, weeks, months passed, but nothing changed. His properties were still struggling. He contacted the big national firm, and they tried to comfort him. It was the economy, they said. All our clients are going through the same thing. Trust us. Henry ran out feeling belittled and insignificant. He thought, maybe I need to find someone that is local, someone that knows everything about both cities, someone that has more time for me. So Henry searched again, this time for the best local company in all of San Antonio and in all of Austin. When Henry met with each of them, he shared his story of woe and how the big national firm had treated him. They sighed and comforted him, claiming they do things differently. We're local, they both said. We know the market. We know the decision makers. Trust us, they cried. So Henry did trust them and went home confident now that his troubles would soon be over. Days, weeks, months passed, but nothing changed. His properties were still struggling. He contacted both firms and they tried to comfort him. It was the economy, they each said. All our clients are going through the same thing, they said. Trust us. But Henry couldn't just accept that. He had had enough and simply couldn't wait any longer. Unfortunately, although he felt he was a more important client than he had been with the large national firm, he had learned that the local firms were simply too small to service his needs. And besides, he now had separate service providers in both cities. So he ran back to his wise old banker who said, why don't you look for someone that you can trust like I told you? A company that has experience in both markets. The experienced professionals with the depth of skills and range of services to meet all your needs. One that not only has a global reach and entrepreneurial spirit, but also one that can make decisions at the local level. One that is owned by the actual people fulfilling the service. He suggested he talk to REOC in both San Antonio and Austin. Now confused, Henry asked, why didn't you suggest that before? And the banker answered, you didn't ask me who you should hire, but what should I do? And I told you to hire someone you could trust. Henry once again ran out, but this time he was truly confident that he was headed in the right direction. He immediately contacted REOC, and lo and behold, they treated him professionally and honestly. They told him, what they could and couldn't do given the current market conditions. And together they fashioned a strategy as partners to face the economic challenges head-on. And so it came to pass, as in all fairy tales, that they did face the problems at hand, and with great courage they negotiated with the struggling tenants, even found new tenants, fought many battles, and slayed the mean, ugly dragon together. And oh wait, that's another tale. I'm afraid I'm getting my tales a bit mixed up, but nonetheless you get the idea. Henry's friends soon went shopping again. His neighbors went back to work in their offices, and everyone went skiing. In the end, everyone lived happily ever after. Well, while some might say the moral of the story is that you have to work closely with your banker to get them to think outside the box, especially in times like these, others would say that the true lesson to be learned is that if you want to make your real estate investment dreams come true in both San Antonio and Austin, hire NAI REOC. After all, you don't have to search far and wide to find your knight in shining armor. Just look around the room.